Yeah.
I have a scenario for you, okay?
Okay.
But this scenario might seem a little familiar.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm
Okay,
ready.
close your eyes. You're in high school.
Okay. Horror.
Stop there. Okay, you're in high school and you are heavily bullied.
Aw, that sucks.
But what's worse about this situation is that you don't even get to escape the bullying in school and, have fun at home. No, 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 no. Home life is just as bad.
Oh, that sucks.
Yes, it does suck. But there's this weird thing about you. You, sometimes, like, when you're overly emotional, like if you're crying or something,
Yeah.
you notice that you are able to move things with your mind.
Mm. Oh, that type of story. Okay.
Yeah, that type of story. But things grow a little bit more unsettling because the bullying gets a little bit worse. Do you think that a story like this, with a little bit of like a horror aspect, could fix your life?
I'll be scared the whole time, but I think it can.
Welcome to the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli, and we are back talking about a Tiffany D. Jackson book, one that she released kind of recently.
Yeah, so this author was actually recommended to us by one of our viewers, and they didn't say a book in particular, they just said the author, and so we did White Smoke already, and now we're going to do The Weight of Blood, which is a Carrie retelling by Stephen King.
Yeah, I did not know that at all. I as soon as it started getting to that point, I was like, oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it didn't occur to me that it was a retelling. I don't get the quote that's on the top of the book in the beginning.
Okay.
Uneasy lies the head that wears. Oh, okay, never mind. I get it. I just had to read it out loud. Uneasy lies the head that wears the tiara.
Yeah, because a tiara is very much coveted, so this girl is being bullied also, so just adds a lot of like angst to it pretty much.
So one compliment I would love to give to this book right off the bat. I really liked that it is written in the way where we're experiencing this incident that happened through a podcast that already knows what happened with the incident and then present time of when the incident is happening with our character.
Yeah.
I really like jumping back and forth because I'm like, damn, how did it get that bad?
Yeah.
You know, because everyone's like, yeah, everyone died. And then going back, everyone's fine. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I also like when stories do that. Like even when it does like newspaper clippings or like this being a podcast and it being broken down into episodes and going through the story. I was also really interested by that too. And I was curious to see like where it was going to go. And I had a feeling it was a Carrie retelling, but I was interested to see like how much it would be like Carrie. Did you watch Carrie, by the way? I don't remember.
I've only ever seen the ending, and it actually really scares me.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've never seen which version did you see?
The old one.
The one with the God, is she like blonde or strawberry blonde? She's like strawberry blonde,
Strawberry
right?
blonde.
And like her lashes are like strawberry blonde also.
Yes.
Yeah, her. Okay.
That's the one I saw, and I watched it as soon as it was her going to the prom and her stapling her mom.
Oh, dude.
To the fucking wall.
Yeah.
That shit traumatized me when I watched it the first time.
Yeah. I think I've seen all of the Carrie versions.
Do you like Carrie?
I fucking love Carrie. So I was a little nervous to read this one.
I will
this
say
version.
It is Carrie. It is.
Yeah.
Carrie. But they add a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Racial inequality and racial segregation in this story. So this story takes place in 2014, in which, like, you know, slavery isn't a thing.
Yeah.
But racism in the mid US, which I think this is where it takes place,
Yeah.
is still really big.
Mm-hmm.
I know, don't quote me, I don't remember the exact date, but I think Mississippi officially outlawed slavery in 2013. Like no one did it, but it was legally allowed.
Wow, really?
And there are some states that, although it's not a thing anymore, they still have I think it's the sunset alarm, right? The sundown.
Yeah.
Where like people of color shouldn't be out after sundown, or else like if you get shot, you get shot.
Yeah.
And this town is very much that. Like they are, because things were very segregated back then, they just chose to never change the rules that applied, like the unofficial rules. So in this school, they host prom outside of school. So it's not a school mandated thing or school officiated event. So they actually can run it however they want. And the way they run it is they run a white prom and a black prom.
Yeah.
And that's actually what they call it too. And it has always been like that. And no one in this town views it as racist.
It's just like, kind of like what it is.
It's what it is. And this is kind of where this society is at. And it's bad to the point where our main character, Maddie, around May, so prom hasn't happened yet, she notices while she's running track that it is going to rain soon. And our character's super like...
She's like jumpy over it. Like
panicky,
she's like anxious. She's like, I think she hasn't started running yet. So the coach is like, go run, do whatever. And she's like, but it's going to rain. And everyone's like, yeah, go. Because Maddie has really like ranked up absences, because anytime that it's going to rain or any possibility of rain, she stays home. Like she will not go to school.
Yep.
And I don't know if you felt the same way, but I really thought like something was going to happen with like,
I thought so too. I actually didn't read into...
I was like, is she going to turn into a mermaid?
I didn't read into the cover at all. So I was like, this bitch about to be a vampire, a water vampire.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was so looking forward to that. But then when her hair started to curl up.
Yeah, like, but the way that it was described was that it was like frizzing up, like bad, like it was like big, And so... because of the racism, and she is like of a lighter complexion. Yeah. So she was able to pass. Yeah. People didn't know that she was black. And so when they saw her hair, oh my God, the bullying just got worse.
It was in her second period where she went, and they were just like, damn, she was secretly black. I can't believe it. And they like... she went to the corner of a room and they threw pencils at her. Yeah,
to like get it into her hair. And they were like, one of the students even recorded it. And in this school, there's not a lot of black students, but there's like a small percentage. Yeah. And so you could tell, you could tell that the black students are uncomfortable by this, but nobody wants to say anything because of, just like, I guess the overall like vibes in the school or in the town or whatever.
I think it's funny too that all of the white characters, anytime they bring up the incident, because there was a teacher who was like, this is not good, students picking on a girl,
African American,
and then someone's like, a black girl, you mean to say? Yeah. It's like, damn.
Yeah, like some of them wanted to just like,
but it sucks, everyone seemed more worried about the reputation that this school was going to get, and not the mental health or mental issues that are going to rise or come out because of what they did to Carrie. So, not Carrie, Maddie.
Yeah. So what had happened was, like I said, somebody was recording when the white girls were throwing pencils into Maddie's hair. And so this video was leaked, right? People saw it, and now the reputation was tumbling down for the school. And so the teacher, this teacher that was in there, saw this, witnessed this, and she called, what was the mean girl's name again?
Jules.
So she called in Jules, and she called in Jules' dad, and the principal was there, and they were all having this meeting, and the dad was like, well, how do you know my daughter did it? You know what, I can't even tell from the video. I can't tell it's her. And so it's like this whole thing where you're trying to punish Jules or anybody else who was a part of it.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of like pushback. And then also like Jules's father is known for having money, right?
I fucking
So it's like
hated
you don't
that.
want to piss him off.
But Jules doesn't make it any better because they have like an all school rally and it's on Halloween. No, it's a Spirit Week, and one of the days for Spirit Week is Halloween in June. And she decides to dress as Maddie.
Yeah.
She puts on an afro. She paints her face black.
Yeah.
And
then her boyfriend dresses up as Maddie's dad. Yeah. And so they're like a couple, right? I don't know. It's like fucking weird.
And they do this at an all-school rally. And the teacher that is there at the rally is watching this happen. And instead of correcting these kids, she's telling Kendrick, who, by the way, is the love interest in this story, who's currently dating a popular white girl named Wendy, telling Kendrick, who's getting mad, like, you need to calm down. I understand you're angry, but you need to calm down.
Yeah, Kendrick is also black. And they never talked about his complexion, but I'm assuming he's also passing, or people just don't care.
He's dark, but the only reason that they are okay with him is because he passes off as white in his attitude. Like, he allows them to slide.
Like he, quote unquote, speaks.
Yep.
Like properly or whatever. Like they, like, because that, like, the speech was brought up also in the story. Yep. Right. So anyway, so Kendrick is like beloved in the school because he's also like the top football player. Yep. And so he's never really like given anyone any pushback for any like racism or microaggressions or anything. It's not until Maddie, like the situation with Maddie, starts getting worse. And then when that happened at the pep rally or whatever it was, that he like finally is like opening his eyes and he's just like, what the fuck? Like, why are, and especially because Jules, you know, Jules is Wendy's friend, which is his girlfriend. And so it's like, we're in this friend group together and you're really going to do this in front of me. And it's like, everyone else is telling Kendrick, like, oh, like, calm down, like, relax. Like, they're making him seem like he's like irrational and like he's crazy. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, you're more mad at me over her who's doing blackface right here.
You know what I hated too? I hated Wendy. Yeah. Which was Kendrick's girlfriend. I hated that when all of this happened, she was more not shocked at what was happening, but more like, wow, I've never seen him so angry. Yeah. It's like, take in the freaking moment right now, Wendy.
Yeah. And it's really sad because, I mean, we're not really going in order, but Maddie. So Maddie's dad is like fucking crazy. Yeah. He's like, if you've ever seen Carrie, you know, it's originally mom. Like the mom. And so mom was super religious. And it's the same in this version where the dad is like really overly religious. And it's to the point where it's like fucking unsettling. And it's like obsessive, possessive. And the dad is the one who would fucking like iron her hair down with the, like, what is it? The hot comb? Yeah. And he would like do it for her, and he was like upset with her, and it was really sad because like he would even like burn her sometimes in the back of her neck, and it was kind of like almost like a punishment, you know. And she would have to stay inside of a closet and pray. Yep. And she would just get a lot of punishments, right? Yep. And so the dad is white. Yes. And the dad got with a black woman, and so that's why she's passing, right? But she's never met her mom. She doesn't know anything about her. And so I think in the beginning, Maddie is just like more so like nervous. She doesn't really know. She's very sheltered. She doesn't really know anything about anything, you know, because I thought that this story, even though it did say 2014, I didn't really expect like modern stuff like Netflix. Like I didn't expect Netflix to show up to be mentioned, I should say. And so when she was like, what's Netflix? It's like, what? So she really is like still really sheltered in her world.
Yeah, she is. So I wanted to bring up more Wendy because while all of this is going on, Wendy is our white character who tries to be a white savior. Yeah. And like one character, I think it's Kendrick's sister, brings up to her like, you're only trying to put both proms together to make you seem like the good guy.
Well, she's trying to make one prom instead of the white and the black prom.
Yes.
Because of the backlash that they received from the blackface.
Yes.
So the blackface is really what kind of like made the school like, oh my God, yeah, no, we're not racist. No, we love everyone, you know? And so Wendy, but the thing about Wendy is that Wendy has always like pictured her life a certain way. Yes. And she doesn't come from a family of money, right?
Yep.
And so Kenny has like this like talent, right? And so she's just like, oh my God, he is my way in. And I do think she does love him in her own way, but she's like over here planning their whole lives together. And so when she starts to see all of this like backlash with the blackface, she's just like, oh my God. Yeah, like Cheli said, like the white savior, right? Like, oh my God, I'm going to like merge these two proms together and like everything's going to be fine, you know? And so what is his sister's name? Callie?
Callie.
Callie
is in the Black Student Union.
Yeah.
And is super upset with everything that's going on. Mostly upset at Kendrick for not doing shit. It's like you really stand next to all these people who are putting down the Black community and act like nothing's going on. You know? But then is also kind of weirded out at the fact that all of a sudden Kendrick wants to go to prom with Maddie.
Well, he didn't want to go to prom with Maddie. That was Wendy's idea.
Yeah, that was Wendy's idea, but I don't think he ever explained that to anyone.
No, he didn't. So basically what happened was Wendy starts to feel, I don't know if she actually feels bad or if she's just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I think she just wants to look good, right? And so she's just like, you know what? Kenny, you should take Maddie to prom. And he's like, wait, what? Why would I do that? He's never really had a conversation with her or a meaningful conversation with Maddie before. So he's like really weirded out by this. But Wendy keeps insisting like, oh, you should just take her to prom because, you know, we've been bullying her. We've been mean to her. And by we, I mean like the white girls, right? So let's make that night special for her, you know. Let's make it special and meaningful. So kind of like to make up everything that they've done to her.
Yes.
And he doesn't really agree at first, but it is a thought that like lingers.
I think it's after he sees something that happens to Maddie, and that's when he's like, I'm going to go to prom.
He overhears students talking about her and they're being like degrading and they're like being racist, and he's just like he kind of finally speaks up.
And it's like, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? Yeah. Like, explain that.
Yeah. How did you feel that even though this was Wendy's idea, she would act overly jealous?
I feel like, I don't know. Wendy was, I feel like it's so sad, but I think that because she's white, she just thought like, oh, well, of course he's going to love me over her. Like, what's there to love about Maddie? Maddie's like weird, you know? Like, I don't know. Not that she ever actually said that she was weird. Did she? I don't remember.
No, but she did bring up multiple times like, well, it's her fault for hiding she was Black.
Yeah, like, why would she hide that? I don't know. Like, I feel like it makes sense why she would get jealous, because in her brain, there was no way that he wouldn't love her over Maddie.
Yes. So Maddie is going through a whole discovery moment, too, with her whole freaking telekinetic powers. She ends up finding a book that her mom left behind. And in the book, there was a paper that said, you, as they say, are a storm with skin. Death and rebirth will follow you everywhere. How can one man who knows nothing of the weight of blood tame you? For wherever you go, there you are. Maddie stared at the elegant cursive handwriting, and then she just goes, Mama.
Yeah, because she had never gotten any inkling of who her mother was.
Dude.
So finding this was like life-changing to her.
So I will say that I really liked when Maddie and Kendrick interacted.
I did too.
It was
but
really
in
cute.
The original Carrie, the guy didn't fall in love with Carrie, right? So I was kind of like happily surprised that it was actually different in this version.
It was so sweet.
It was really sweet.
The part where they almost kissed and then he left, but he left super giddy and he was like oh my God, now I got to rethink my whole life because, of course, I'm going to marry this girl. But then if I marry her, she's got to change her whole life. So I'll just bring her to college with me. But then if I bring her to college with me, we're going to have to get a home. And then if we get a home, we're going to have kids. And he was already imagining his whole life with her.
You know what I thought was cute?
What?
Was before that, when Callie, the sister, was asking him, like, you don't actually love Wendy because you always value football over her. Yeah. Like, do you love her more than football? And then when he was starting to fall in love with Maddie, he was like, I love her more than football.
Definitely.
I love her more.
Oh, my God. And just the fact that when he was just driving out by himself, he's like, I was just driving by and your house was here and I just thought I should visit you.
Yeah.
Oh, God. They were so each other when they were with each other. Because he even brought up, like, I guess people have always expected me to be the center of attention and always talk, but sometimes I like just sitting.
Yeah. What he really likes about her is that she doesn't, like, pretend to be anything other than herself. Because some people, like, it seems like they cater to him because he's so beloved for, you know, the football stuff. But he likes that Maddie will, like, talk back to him, but, like, in a playful manner.
How'd you feel about even though everything that happened, all that happened to Jules by the end of the story was she didn't go to college?
By the end of the story?
Yeah. Nothing happened to her, right?
Yeah, it did.
No.
By the end of the story?
Yeah. Did she make it?
She made it, but let's not talk about that yet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But anyway, so
I didn't like that Wendy always defended her friends.
Yeah, well, Wendy was fucking brainwashed. She was annoying. But basically what ended up happening was that Jules got a lot of backlash, obviously, for the blackface.
Yes.
And so now all of her college acceptances were getting revoked because of it. And her dad was pissed, but more so at, like, Maddie. Because he was like, well, my daughter's innocent, you know, kind of thing. Like my daughter didn't do anything wrong. Like, okay, when people paint their face white, like, nobody cares. You know, it's like, oh my God, that sort of logic. And so because of this, Jules is pissed at Maddie. But before we talk about, like, you know, that part, what was going on between Maddie and her dad?
Her dad, did she already tell him that her and Kendrick were going to prom?
She had first asked him. Remember when she, like, made him his, like, favorite dinner?
Yeah, and then was like, by the way, Dad, just want to let you know that I got asked out to the prom by this really nice boy. His name is Kendrick, and he's just so sweet to me.
He's going to college, a really good school.
Yeah, and he immediately knew that he was black and was like, how dare you even consider asking me that? Do you want to live your life as a black woman? Is that what you want? Yeah. And she's like, no, of course not, Dad. And it's like, okay, then go to the closet. Yeah. And owe me time. But then she
fights back.
I think that was the part where he went to go pick her up, Kendrick. Because I remember she used her telekinetic powers and held him down. And he was on the floor. And she was like, I'm going to go outside so that Kendrick doesn't see that my dad's on the floor. Yeah. And just leaves him like that. And it's the dad's a horrible person. But it's so sad that he's so scared.
He's terrified of her.
Yeah.
But the dad is just, like, unhinged. And it just makes me sad. Because he keeps, like, insinuating that she needs to be a decent woman, right? Yep. It's like, no decent woman goes to the prom. Like, ugh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I hate it. So when she finally does go to the prom, she's voted as prom queen, along with Kendrick, who is prom king.
Actually, before we talk about the prom, okay. Why don't we discuss what's going on with Jules?
What's going on with her?
So doesn't Jules fight with Wendy?
Yes.
They get into a fight, and I can't remember why.
I don't remember why either.
But basically, like, Jules tells Wendy, like, I did so much for you. You know, I gave you all my hand-me-downs, and this is how you repay me. And so Jules comes up with this plan. She's just like, you know what? I'm not going to let Maddie ruin my year, pretty much. And so she decides with her boyfriend, which I thought her and her boyfriend were interesting, like the pairing of it, because her boyfriend was pretty much gonna like stay in town, not really like go to college, not really do anything. And Jules liked that thrill behind that because she was like, I'm not gonna like marry this man, but it's like kind of exciting to like tell my dad like I'm gonna be with this guy who works in a paint store and whatever. Anyway, so she's like trying to seduce her boyfriend Brad, and she's just like, Brad would make me really happy. And he's like, what, babe? Because they're like making out. He's like, if we just ruined Maddie a little bit, like just like a little bit,
I forgot about that.
Just like a little bit. And he's just like, babe, I'll do anything for you. Ask me and I'll do it. And she's just like, okay, but I'm just gonna need a lot of paint. 2 buckets worth of paint. And he's just like, okay, yeah, because he works at a paint store, remember? Yeah. And so they go into the paint store and then they're looking at the colors and he's like, what color do you want? And she points to a color and she's like, that one. And I thought it was gonna be the color red. Interesting that it wasn't the color red.
I thought it was pretty fucked up what they did.
I thought so too.
I was worried that the integration of this like racial segregation in this town, I thought that was gonna kind of take me out of this Carrie retelling.
Really?
I thought it did a really good job integrating.
I think so too. Thing. Like I feel like it made more sense to me that it included like this racism aspect, right? Yeah. Because then they also integrated the police brutality aspect as well.
I already said this, but I just want to bring it up again. It's so crazy to me that this takes place in 2014.
I know.
There was a line I really liked where it said like, they were like outside and it was like, oh, although no one follows the sundown rules anymore, the alarm still blares like a readying threat.
That's so
God damn.
That's so scary.
Yeah. I don't. This book made me really angry. Oh, that's what I was going to bring up. How do you feel about books where it just is meant to make you upset? Like you have to
moments?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean?
The fact that this whole book is going to have racist people and we just have to sit there and watch them be super racist.
Well, I feel like with this one it's a little bit different because we know what happens at the end.
Yeah.
Like the revenge aspect of it. I didn't love that it was happening, but it made sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
It made sense, but
I couldn't.
I kind of wish.
Sometimes I had to like stop.
No, same. Me too. I kind of just felt like the whole time I was just like, why are you a piece of shit? Like, why? Like, even with Wendy, I was like, are you fucking kidding me, Wendy? Yep. It's like infuriating, honestly.
So at the both white and black prom, Kendrick and Maddie are going. Maddie buys an all black dress, right? Good for her. And Kendrick is picking her up there. It's so cute. I think they like win prom king and prom queen and they kiss, right?
Yeah, they kiss because they're so excited. But they didn't. The thing is that you don't actually know if they would have won. Jules rigged the voting system.
Yeah, she did.
So we don't know if they would have won without her rigging it.
How do you feel before anything that happens? And then we cut to Wendy, who hears that, I don't know, she hears something about.
She gets sent a picture of them being very like close to each other. Yeah. And she's just like, what the fuck?
She gets sent a picture. And then I hate that she shows up and she's like, I'm not jealous or anything, but I did myself up a little bit. But I'm not like jealous or anything.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that shit. Okay, so then she goes to the prom. But while she's going to the prom, Jules and her boyfriend, Brad, when Maddie and Kendrick are standing on stage, they're about to accept their award. And I do want to mention something. Shout out to fucking Kendrick, who told Maddie, you're not there for anyone else but for me. So don't pay attention to anyone. And then when his white friends try to come up, he always goes like, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
And even Maddie was like, oh, if you want to spend time with them, that's fine. He's like, no, I'm here to spend time with you.
Yeah.
I'm not here for them.
That part was so fucking cute. Because I feel like cute. At that point, he had been fed up.
Yep.
Like, at that point, he had just been fed up with the microaggressions, the racism, like just everything. And so his third eye was wide open now, and he was just like, you know what, fuck these people. I'm over this shit.
So I thought it was really cute, and I was so happy. Having watched Carrie only once when I was a kid, I was like, oh, nothing bad better happen.
Dude.
But then
I feel like we should watch Carrie. All 17 versions of them.
How many versions are there?
I don't know. Let me look it up. Take a guess.
17. I think you're right.
No, I think there's probably like 6. No. 4.
I thought it was
5.
Okay. Although I thought it was cute that Kendrick, when he was with Maddie, would always be like, where you going? Why are you leaving me? Oh my God, I almost kissed her. There's a part where he even thinks, oh, she's probably want to get married before we do it.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn. He was low-key obsessed with her.
He was.
Right? Is that unsettling?
A little bit.
I thought it was endearing because he never really acted upon.
Yeah. I feel like he was just like falling in love and just kind of like dove head first, you know? Like he had never felt this before. And so he was just like, yeah.
Yep.
I love this girl. There are 4 Carrie movies. I thought there was more.
Okay. So Maddie gets drenched in white paint. And she is angry. She is so furious, and it sucks because Kendrick is there like, oh my God, I tried really hard to protect her, and this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And how does it all go down?
So basically what happens is he pulls her out of so basically what happened was she was drenched in this white paint, right? Yeah. And Kenny is just like freaking out. And I think she's in a state of shock because that's how it played out in the movie. And he takes her outside. Yeah. And so, like I mentioned, there's incidences of police brutality happening. Yeah. And so, obviously, Kenny's emotions are heightened because of what had happened. I mean, he loves this girl. So, he literally is just like, he's not even being like aggressive. Like he's just talking back to this police, because there's police officers there. And I don't remember exactly why they were there. Oh, they were there because of a protest. Yes. A protest that his sister was leading was happening. And so the police officers were there, and then Kenny was talking to them about whatever. And then basically what ended up happening was that he got, they hit him, right? Yeah. They were hitting him with
the batons, I think.
I think the batons, yeah.
But then I think one of the police had mentioned, but he was going to attack me. Yeah. Didn't you see he was going to attack me?
Yeah, did you see how aggressive he was? Yep. And so because Kenny was on the floor looking like he was dead, that snapped Maddie. Yes. And she just fucking picked up the police cars and just brought them down on the officers. Yes. And so then after that, she went back into the prom, closed all of the doors, locked everyone inside, and that's when shit basically hit the fan, and she basically killed. Wait, when did she see Jules? Because I know she saw Jules, but I don't remember what. Oh, she was inside. They fell. I remember now. Okay. Because Jules and Brad were like there, but they were like on the top part of it. And so like everything was just being torn apart. Bitches were being flung. Yep. Things were being flung around. Yep. People were dying. She was just being, and it was cool how it was described because, you know, she had this white paint, but everybody's blood was like splattering on her. And so now it was turning red. Oh, damn. Yeah. That was pretty awesome, honestly. And so, I'm trying to remember. And so then Jules and Brad fell from that top thing, and then I don't know, like things were just fucking going everywhere and shit. And so I don't really remember what happened, like when, like afterwards, like because she went home. Like I know she went home. No. Well, I don't think she did, because what I remember is that Wendy is with Kendrick. Near the end point, and he's alive. Yeah, and they're talking about how like Maddie was basically ruined, like her whole life was ruined, and Wendy feels this sense of like helping her, right? Because she's like, they're right. Everything I've ever done to help Maddie has always been out of selfishness. And doesn't she have a moment of what like realization? Kind of, because then she kind of like starts thinking the other way. You know, because then she finds out what Maddie did. Yeah.
But she still helps her.
No,
right?
she does. But like, okay. But the thing is that Kenny can't get up. He's injured.
Yeah.
He has to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And so he's like obviously worried about Maddie. And so Wendy is like thinking like, well, the only place that she would be at home, her home.
Yep.
And she is home because don't you remember that her dad got the gun and he was like, when she gets in here,
oh yes,
it's game over. Oh, because all the lights start going off.
Yes.
And I thought it was really cool how like when she was walking back home, you know, covered in blood, the neighbors were all just like looking at her like, what the fuck happened? Yep. And like all the lights are like flickering and shit. And so she gets home. Her dad shoots her.
Yes.
Right? He shoots her. And I don't remember exactly what happened after that. But she kills the dad.
Yeah, she does.
And she's like crying. She's defeated. She's just like thinking like, you know what? This isn't even worth it anymore. Like, I don't know. Like she's getting like these really bad thoughts because she thinks that she lost Kenny. And then Wendy shows up. And Wendy, like Cheli said, she is thinking like, oh, I got to help her. But there was a moment where she was like, or should I kill her? Because, you know, she did kill all of those people. I think she saw the gun and, like, contemplated it for, like, a second.
Yes.
And then she was like, and then I think Maddie said something to her that was kind of, like, sad. Or, like, just, I don't know. It kind of just made her feel like, damn, we really fucked this girl up. And so she tells her, do you have any indication as to where your mother is? And that's when she was like, you know what? I think I might have seen something that might have said like where she could be. Yeah. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but like she like looked around, found it in her diary or her notebook or something. And they were like, Wendy told her, okay, I can drive you to the train station and you can go and stay with your mom and never come back. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And so basically like she showers, she changes, she like whatever. And then Wendy drops her off at the station.
Can I say something? Because I'm reading through this because I'm trying to find the end. You're right. Jules does really go through it because at the very end, she's like, oh my gosh, oh God, Brady. Why do they?
His name's Brady?
Yeah. Why do they, ... She hate us so much? Because she was saying they as like black people.
Oh, she would always do that, huh?
Yeah. And her body shook hard, her skin arctic cold. She wrapped her arms around herself but didn't feel the relief, only hot pain. She reached to touch the sore spot and came up empty. Her right arm was gone.
Yeah.
Damn, she really got fucked up. I do remember that, though. Wendy did really go like, I can't. Yeah. She was stuck in a tight situation, but she does go like, yeah, your mom is here and you got to go because Kendrick is waiting for you.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of drags Maddie out of the house. Like, oh, yeah, Kendrick's waiting for me.
Yeah.
And in the podcast part of the book, Wendy does get interviewed and they always ask her, like, what were you doing? Why were you going to prom? It's like, oh, my boyfriend and I were going to go to an after party. It's like, yeah, but you were seen with someone else at a gas station. She's like, no, don't know. It's like, well, what do you think happened to Maddie? It's like, she died along with my boyfriend who died there too. And she keeps
because there were fires too.
Yes. So she keeps denying, but us, the readers, know that they are alive.
Yeah. It's just the best fucking part about this book is they're alive, bitch. Thank God.
Yeah, because she leaves with Kenny, right?
Yeah. I don't know if they really mentioned it, but it's kind of like assumed.
At the very end, we have like this one like newspaper clipping. I think it's a newspaper clipping. And it says 5 years later, the city set aside a budget to clear the property, which is Maddie's home, and put it on the market, hoping to encourage buyers to consider Springville as their new potential home. During the excavation of the Washington's home remains, only a few items were left intact, one of which was a hot comb.
Yep. That was symbolic as fuck.
This is a trip.
Is it controversial to say that I liked it more than the original?
I don't think so.
Is it controversial?
No, I don't think so. I actually think, I will say, talking about it with you makes me like it more.
Really?
Yeah, because I originally gave this book a 2, and now I'm going to change it to a 3. Because I actually did really like this book. And
I thought the storytelling was a lot better compared to how we felt about White Smoke. I didn't feel the way that we did when we were reading the other story.
Yeah, same, because I actually like these characters.
Yeah.
Well, I liked Maddie, and I liked Kendrick. And Wendy, I understood.
Yeah.
And Jules just fucking sucked.
Yeah.
So, like, I understood why it played out the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that this was a good retelling of Carrie, and I feel like that's a very intimidating thing to retell.
I know, seriously.
Because it's so loved.
But it does feel like her own thing, though, because it included, like, the segregation and the racism and that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like I was very satisfied with this book.
And, I mean, she did a really good job picking it up after that one comment we read for White Smoke, where it was like, you can't just keep bringing different social issues and throw them all together and hope that it sticks.
Yeah.
But it felt like she did it well here.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could have seen more of Kendrick. I liked Kendrick a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm happy that they did get their happy ending. And I don't know. You know what's interesting? I wasn't sure what Wendy was going to do at the end. I wasn't sure if she was actually going to help her or not. But I am happy that she, you know, even though she did steal her man, she was still kind of like,
you can run away with my man.
It's okay. I forgive you.
My man's.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's crazy to me. But to me, it kind of also felt the fact that Wendy did it, she still had her white savior moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she did. But I mean, she was literally the only one. Like, you know?
Yeah, but she did what Callie said she wouldn't do, which was help by giving up something that you like in the benefit of the other person, not to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess
I feel like if Callie wouldn't have said that to her, she probably wouldn't have helped her.
No, I don't think so
she
either.
She would have been like, you know what? She stole my man. So no. But overall, you did like Maddie?
Yeah, I did. I really liked Maddie. I did really like the white paint thing that you were bringing up at the end, how it mixed with the red.
Yeah, I thought that was
the
cool.
Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. What do you think you would rate this? I said 3.
I think I need to sit with it a little bit longer, but I think I would give it a high 4.
Dang.
I really, really love this
crazy.
book. It makes me want to read more of Tiffany Jackson. I've heard Allegedly is really good, but
Allegedly is allegedly good.
Yeah, so don't take my word for it. I haven't read it yet.
Do you have anything else to say about this book before we let her off?
Other than I love it so much and I would recommend it to everyone in the world, and it makes me want to rewatch Carrie.
I need to watch Carrie.
Yeah, we should watch Carrie. All 4 versions of them, and then we can rank them.
Thank you everyone who is listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on. Thank you so much. If you can leave a review of 5 stars, and if you can also a rating of 5 stars, but also leave us a review of what to read next. That would be great. We are reaching the end of our bulk read for this time. Yeah. So we would love recommendations.
I'm always interested to see what other people really like. And I also really love when it's books that we haven't really heard of. And
books that we wouldn't have touched if it weren't for someone recommending it.
Yeah.
If you want to support us and you have a little bit of money, what can they do?
So we do have a Patreon, and right now it doesn't have a whole lot. But if you are interested in helping us that way, you can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, you can find us also on Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix, and buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix. You can find us that way too.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. If you are wanting to support our social media, we do have an Instagram at the Bookfix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD, and we also have a TikTok at the Bookfix, THEBOOKFIX. Thank you. So let's go ahead and read reviews on this book. I will read the positive and read this one. This one is a review from As Told by Kenya, who gave it a 5 out of 5 and wrote, "Nobody's mothering the way Tiffany D. Jackson is mothering. A mother amongst mothers. A grandma, if you will."
Oh my God. So mine is a 1 star, and it's written by Nathan. They wrote, "Did not like a complete copy of Stephen King's Carrie."
That's a retelling. Okay, but thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Dude,
what time it is?
Time for a nap.
Oh, that's it. What a good bulk read. we film in bulk, by the way.
And I'm exhausted.
And yeah, but also this is the first time that we're caught up in a while. Like in a year, I think.
Dude, if we only did once a week, we would be hella caught up right now.
Yeah, we need to sit with our thoughts for a bit. But also watch Carrie and cry.